everyone, it's me, Jennysrp, and I'm here today to give a very brief COVID-19 update. You can watch my previous videos to see the earlier stages of COVID. I got sick the first week of March. I probably contracted COVID-19 on February 29th. It's now 9 months on. I still have symptoms, but I am definitely improving. So thankfully, my rash, especially on my upper leg, started to heal. It didn't heal at all for about 2 months, and then once it started to heal, it healed in about 2 weeks, which was great. I haven't been updating because there hasn't been a lot new in terms of COVID, and a lot has happened in my personal life. We moved house, and then my relationship with my partner ended, and I won't go into that, but it's been a very highly acutely stressful time. So I didn't want that to interfere with my reporting of COVID, because obviously acute stress can definitely impact how symptoms manifest. But what I will say is that I have had improvement in pretty much all of my symptoms. I had terrible pain in my fingers and wrists for about 4 months, and that is all gone. I don't have any pain anymore. I had to wear my compression gloves every single day just to get through the day, and now there's a little bit of stiffness, but definitely no more pain, no arthritic pain. And I have been taking curcumin, which is turmeric extract, in high doses, but I don't really know if that helps or makes much of a difference more than just time and rest. I will say that I am very fortunate to have a flexible enough job and lifestyle in order to give myself rest, and because of my experience with chronic illness, I know the tools that I need to recognize when I need rest and how to rest properly. You know, watching TV is fine, but it doesn't give you the same amount of rest as like a conscious, mindful effort to get good rest. So that includes sleep and nutrition and mindfulness, a lot of things that you will discover if you end up getting chronic illness from COVID-19. Even though my rash on my leg healed, I've started to get little pinprick rashes on my hands and my palms, and have made very itchy palms. And I know itchy palms was one of the symptoms, but it's only lasted for like a day. It's almost like a pore gets like a little rash, and it's a very thick yellow scab that comes on, and it's very itchy while the scab is there, and then when the scab comes off, it's very painful. It's like a burn, but it only lasts a day or two, and some of them leave dark scars. I have one there that left kind of a dark scar, and some of them leave shiny scars. So I have one there that left like a shiny scar. So, and the ones on my legs all left dark scars. So I don't know if that is a blood pressure issue or some kind of arterial capillary issue, or if it's a viral kind of rash. I don't really know. But there is a rash directory now for COVID-19 online through I think it's through the COVID study. So they have, seen dozens and dozens of different kinds of rashes that have come up with COVID. And that's because COVID triggers an immune response, and because it's a new disease, your immune system's probably throwing everything it has at the illness to get rid of it. And the COVID-19 itself will really only last for 3 or 4 weeks, maybe a month or two, depending on how large of a viral load you have. But it's the immune system and how it reacts to it that makes you very ill, and that can cause chronic illness problems later. And that's important to know, because that's why testing can be so unreliable, and we're going to talk about that more in a bit. In terms of my symptoms, I do still have heart pain, and that was definitely exacerbated by my acute stress, but it hurts every day at different times with different kinds of pressure. It's not severe enough to warrant going to the hospital or anything, and I have been to the doctor before for heart irregularities, and it wasn't very helpful, so I'm not eager to go back and face more medical gaslighting. So I'm leaving that for now. It is improving over time, which is, you know, I usually use a scale, you know, to see if something is getting worse over a week, then I get it checked out. If something is improving, obviously you don't need to really get it checked out unless it's very concerning. I do still have shortness of breath, and this changes depending on the day, and I can't really tell what the trigger for the change is. It's not necessarily a level of activity that I do or pollen or environmental issues. I can't tell why some days the shortness of breath is worse than others. And with that comes a little bit of a cough. So like I said before, my cough is not phlegmy, it's not like a mucus clearing, it's more chest pressure. So with the heart inflammation and the chest pressure, there's definitely something still going on in my chest area that causes the pressure. I don't know if it's probably not scarring, because a lot of people have had chest scans and don't have scarring, but they still have cough and lung pain. So there's definitely a lot of pretty severe symptoms that don't come up in diagnostic tests, and I'm here today to report that on video because a lot of you will be very sick for the first time, and it can be so frustrating to not have a physical diagnostic test iterate to you what is wrong with you. Especially if you have a bad doctor that says, look, your tests are all clean, so you're fine, and you know that your body hurts and you are not fine. It just goes to show there is a limit to our current Western medicine healthcare system. They do their best, and if you have a good doctor, your good doctor will say, I trust you, I believe in what you're saying, I can tell you're sick, but we don't know what's wrong yet. That is what a good doctor will say. I still have kidney aches, but they're not constant now. They kind of feel like on my hip, not my hips, my waist and my lower back in the corners on both sides. It gets exacerbated by activity, especially if I'm having a tired day. I'll start like cleaning the kitchen or something, and they'll kind of like, it feels like they kind of like squeeze and tighten up and they kind of ache. But I haven't had any irregularities in my urine or anything, so no need to go and get that figured out. I'm just listening to my body, and when I get a symptom like that, I just stop and I rest, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna take it easy. I don't notice it too much when I'm going for a walk, but again, that changes day to day. My energy levels change day to day, and when the symptoms come up, I can't find usually a pattern or anything. My sleep has been better. It was definitely very interrupted for the 2 months that I was like moving and having my personal issues. It was very disruptive, but for the last week or so it's been much better, and my Aura Ring is giving me like excellent daily results now. So I still don't feel great. I'm giving myself plenty of time to rest and recover. There is definitely recovery going on, so I want to give hope for all of you. If you're in like the 3, 4, 5 months, like I'm at 9 months now, and I have a chronic illness, and I am still recovering. I'm still having improvements. We'll get into now what we're really here today. I decided I would make a video when I got my antibody test results back. I got my antibody test through the University of California, San Francisco. I think that's what it is, UCSF, through the Aura Ring. They have a daily COVID symptom survey on their app, like many other apps do. And I've been using that, and I was offered an antibody test. So no, I did not pay for it. It was offered to me through their research study, and they offered me the option of choosing whether I received my results or not. And of course I want my results. Not all studies will give you results if you partake in their studies, so I was really happy that at least they did this. So I was offered that on September 4th. I took my test on September 20th. I had to wait for a Monday because I had to FedEx it to the United States from England. Talking is making me cough. And I didn't get my results until yesterday, November 13th. So what the test was, it was a dried blood spot test, and as they say in the study, the methods for diagnostics were developed for whole blood samples, but obviously a dried blood spot test is much more accessible. You can do it through the mail. You can do it without any medical supervision. You just do a pinprick and then put it on the spirals of the paper, and then they can test that to see if you have antibodies. And they said it's about 10% less effective than the whole blood sample, I think is what they said. And my test results came back negative. So I want to reiterate that I took this test almost 6 months after my initial infection, and I think generally the window to get a positive antibody results is probably within 3 or 4 months, or maybe even less than that, especially with COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, and the different mutations. Now there's different mutations that will probably have different antibody test results come up. This doesn't mean I'm not immune. We don't know yet. There are memory cells that could have a developed immune response within my body to COVID-19. But the frustrating part about this is I have no diagnostic test that proves that I had COVID-19. I only have the anecdotal evidence that I've shared in these videos and what I've written down in my symptoms log. Any good doctor who will spend more than 10 minutes with me and, can look through my symptoms would probably say, yes, you definitely had COVID-19. I was sick in a way that I'd never been sick before, and I have lingering symptoms that are very specific to COVID-19. So even though I have ME/CFS, and that is a result of glandular fever that I had in 2006, even in 2006, I was tested 3 times for mononucleosis, and they all came up negative. I had a tonsillectomy, which revealed just a highly infected tonsils that were completely shredded by illness, but they couldn't find a viral compound. And then my antibody tests brought up high levels of Epstein-Barr virus, which is the contributing virus to glandular fever, mononucleosis. So I did get positive antibodies that time, but I was tested within 3 months for that. So the reason why this is important is for anyone who knows what it's like to fill out insurance claims or try to get a prescription for treatment, or to, get any kind of public health through your healthcare or public systems. You need proof that you have been diagnosed or that you have a positive result. And some doctors will give you an anecdotal, talking diagnostic result where you don't need a test result to say that this is the problem, but many insurance forms are going to need you to have a positive test result in order to get any help or treatment. So the timing of testing is very important. In order to get a positive viral antigen test, I think you need to take it within the first 5 days of getting infected, and this is very tricky when people don't start exhibiting symptoms, sometimes for 7 to 10 days. For antibodies, you need to be tested within 3 to 4 months of having contracted. So there are thousands and thousands of people who were not hospitalized, who suffered a mild illness, which can be extremely disruptive to your life because the symptoms, while mild, don't mean they're like a walk in the park. You can just be not needing to be hospitalized and don't have a positive test result. Like I said, I think I got infected February 29th because I don't go out very much, and I went out that night to a bar for an hour and didn't get my first antigen test until June. So that's not very effective. At least that means that it's not actually the virus. So far, as far as we know, virus living in your body for months and months and months. It's your immune system responding to the virus that is causing all these symptoms that are lingering. And because I was susceptible because of ME, my body kept having an immune response after Epstein-Barr virus. It probably means that viral infections like COVID-19 that are new will also make me susceptible to a longer recovery time. Don't know that for sure. That's just my opinion. I am not a scientist, an epidemiologist, or anything. I'm just very interested in this stuff, and I know a little bit about it because I've been so interested in it. So that's it. Let me know if you got an antibody test, where you got it from, if you had to pay for it, if it brought up anything for you. Let me know if you've had any trouble with getting treatment or diagnosis because you can't get tests. Let me know if you want to see a review of my Oura Ring. I purchased it in March, shortly after I realized I wasn't getting any medical attention. I wanted at least something to track my vitals. If you want a review of the Oura Ring, now that I've had it for almost 9 months, it's starting to track some decent information and give me some helpful tips. So let me know if you want to see a review of that. It also got me access to my antibody test, so that's pretty cool. I don't really plan to give another update because of my personal situation. I'm not sure if I'm registering for a GP anytime soon. Here in the UK, we are on our second lockdown until early December at least. I think it might probably be through the winter, honestly. So I haven't registered for a GP because everything is so backed up right now in terms of appointments, and people have way more pressing concerns, honestly, than I do at this time, and I'm used to not getting help for chronic conditions. I'm just gonna wait it out probably for a while and take good care of myself and heal up and do what I can on my end. Obviously, I will go to the hospital if anything gets, worse. At this point, it's just about healing, and I hope that you are on a similar journey. I hope that you find things that you need to help you recover. Don't get too dismayed if you're not getting any positive test results. It doesn't mean that you're crazy. Don't let anyone tell you that. It's just about the limitations of our healthcare system, and that's okay. We can have compassion for that, but I just hope you have a compassionate enough doctor to know that there is always room for the unknown and misunderstood or not understood in the realm of medicine and the human body. So be open to that and be kind to yourself. Yeah, I think that's all I have to share today. So thank you for joining me. I wish you the best of luck on your recovery journey, and hang in there. And share with your community. I think community groups are really helpful in terms of, just seeing how people progress and knowing that your symptoms, you're not alone in the certain symptoms that you have. There are like 100 different symptoms with COVID. So take it easy and take care of each other. And I hope that you have the support you needed this time. Bye.